And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. Welcome to Oklahoma Sports Scene. Take a look at our lineup, and it's a good one for you this week. Starting with OU's Athletic Director, Vice President Joe Castiglione. Joe will talk about all things OU athletics and about the multi-million dollars coming into the Sooners from the NCAA settlement. Southern Hills Country Club's Director of Golf, Cary Cozby, joins us here on set to wrap up the 125th U.S. Open Golf Championship. Tulsa Oilers Indoor Professional Football League head coach Marvin Jones will also be here with a season update. And we'll get a final report on the 19th Saint Francis Tough cycling event from its founder and director, McCollam. But now it's time for our Tulsa World Hot Topics. After Game 5 of the NBA Finals, Best of 7 Championship Series, Oklahoma City Thunder and Indiana Pacers beating Game 6 back in Indianapolis this past Thursday. Then, if necessary, Game 7 for the title will be decided there on Sunday, the 22nd. Thunder on home court in Oklahoma City. J.J. Spawn wins the 125th U.S. Open Golf Championship in dramatic fashion. Coming up here on Oklahoma Sports Scene, joined by Cary Cozby, talk about that golf third major. Also on our sports headlines, Tulsa Oilers Indoor Professional Football League team improved its season record to 7-4, its home record to 4-1 to BLK Center with a dominant 42-21 win over San Antonio this past Saturday, completing a 3-game season sweep of the Gunslingers. This Saturday, Tulsa travels to the East Coast to play the Massachusetts Pirates, then return to Tulsa for 3 straight home games starting on the 28th. And again, head coach Marvin Jones will be here on set to talk more about Oilers football. FC Tulsa Soccer battled a 1-1 draw in its home match with Phoenix Rising FC Saturday at One Oak Field. Arthur Rogers scored his first FC Tulsa goal in the 79th minute to get the tie. With the draw, Tulsa now at just 1 point out of first place in the United Soccer League West Division with 21 points. FC Tulsa has this week opened and returned to action here on Saturday, June the 28th against Chattanooga. Tulsa Drillers are back home this week after a tough series on the road. They'll be at One Oak Field to host a 6-game set with Midland from the 17th through the 22nd. It's the final homestand for the month of June for the Drillers. At the College Baseball World Series in Omaha, Nebraska, Arkansas Razorbacks made headlines by getting the first no-hitter in 60 years. Their pitcher, Gabe Wood, was a superstar, 19 strikeouts, had a perfect game until he hit a batter in the foot in the 8th inning, otherwise a perfect game. The first no-hitter again since 1965 in Omaha, and the Arkansas Razorbacks continue their play. Coming up next, Athletic Director of the Oklahoma Sooners, Joe Castiglione. All things Sooners and college football, college athletics, straight ahead.
Our story, it lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on. Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers Indoor Football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m., BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Baseball, fireworks, food, family. It's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene. My special guest, the Vice President, Director of Athletics at the University of Oklahoma, Joe Castiglione, our great friend. And my gosh, Joe, is it possible this is finishing your 27th year at Oklahoma?
It is. It is. Doesn't seem like it's that long because it's gone very, very fast in some ways. But as I said, the day I was announced as athletic director, it's been a true honor and privilege to serve as the athletics director of the University of Oklahoma. And a lot of great people that I've met all along the way.
And how much has college athletics changed in those 27 years, Joe? Wow.
So much we don't have enough time to describe it, but probably none more dramatic than the one move that occurred about 10 days ago,
right,
when the judge approved the settlement terms around the House case. Probably we'll talk about that, but we spent many, many years dealing with, the prohibition of paying athletes,
right.
And now we'll have the opportunity to offer them something, depending on the strategies that each institution employs. But that is probably the biggest change in the history of college athletics, for that matter.
Well, that Friday, June the 6th, the NCAA $2.8 billion settlement was signed off by the judge for Division I athletes. And now, what does that mean for college athletics and specifically for the University of Oklahoma?
Well, as we just mentioned, the idea that athletic departments can compensate certain athletes for involvement in our athletic programs. There's a lot of semantics around how people are referring to that, but the idea that an athletic department can provide money in addition to financial aid is massive change. Part of the settlement terms allowed the schools to determine how they would spend it, but share revenue up to $20.5 million. That is a cap number, Chris, that was determined through negotiations that amounts to 22% of all revenues that generated by athletic departments. And of course, that's just a rev share portion that we provide millions and millions of other dollars to athletes in financial aid, resources like for sports medicine, nutrition, all of those types of areas, wellness programs, mental health, etc. And so the calculation was done in line with what's already provided. And of course, this does not preclude athletes from earning money in outside NIL programs. And so that's going to be permitted, but it's a whole different set of rules around third-party NIL and how that will be approved and then how that will be monitored. All of this will start July 1st, 4 years to the day that NIL itself was first permitted. Of course, we saw how NIL went sideways since that time and how it gotten interpreted. But we've, like all the other schools, we did everything we could to develop relationships or promote relationships, if you will, with outside entities that were allowed under the previous rules. It's just now that we can be more involved than the previous rules allowed to help create opportunities. We can't do them. We can't pay for them. We just create the connection for businesses to be involved with athletes, but they will have to seek approval before they engage in any of those athletic NIL opportunities. So, between revenue sharing, another thing that's been permitted under this new rule is additional scholarships, and that oftentimes, Chris, gets left out of this conversation. There has been scholarship limitations put on previously by the NCAA, 85 scholarships in football, 9.3 in a sport like wrestling, 11.7 in a sport like baseball, and others all in between. But we will be providing well over 60 new scholarships in a variety of sports. Most of the sports that aren't getting rev share are getting some type of additional scholarship assistance. So there's a lot of movement that all benefits student athletes, and that's a really, really great thing.
You know, the date you mentioned is coming up July the 1st. That's the $20.5 million revenue sharing. How, with your now 21 sports OU, 10 men, 11 women, how will that be divided up?
We've made strategic decisions on allotting our rev share based on 6 core sports. It's not that the other sports aren't important. These are the sports that basically generate some level of revenue. And in addition to that, we have provided scholarships to a number of other sports. Like I said, there's quite a few scholarships being spread around a variety of sports. That actually is part of this new rev share formula. Like I said earlier, Chris, sometimes that gets left off. We just thought that the scholarship impact would be more profound for the other sports than just some limited amount of rev sharing, and make more of an impact in strengthening or promoting our rosters to compete. And so that was a strategy that we're using. And it doesn't mean that those sports don't have the opportunity to engage in third-party NIL just like any of the other sports. So obviously the allocations will be predominantly football, and then men's and women's basketball, gymnastics, softball, and baseball will have some portion of that. And so it is a way that every sport can be served, and which is different than maybe some other universities are doing. So we are making decisions that are much in line with the rest of our SEC peers, and other schools will decide to do what they want to do, but that's what's allowed under the new format.
Well, you've added a general manager, Jim Nagy, and just added more to his staff now, and helping with player personnel and the NIL and stuff, and again, part of the new age of college athletics.
We're really excited about it. Jim's been a fantastic addition since he arrived. This is something we've been working on for well over a year, and as we've tried to stay ahead of the evolution of not just football, but the way various sports rosters are being assessed, whether way talent is being acquired, how it's being retained, how much movement is taking place, in our sport because of the unlimited transfer portal that developed in the spring of 24. And so we've just seen this as a step to put Oklahoma in a really, really competitive position and maximize the skill sets of someone and a staff under that person that, can focus on talent assessment, how it is lining up with the identity that we have for our football team to be competitive in the Southeastern Conference, to compete for championships in that conference, and to be a participant in the college football playoff, and how we will win at Oklahoma. And Jim has now built the better part of his staff out, and they are doing exceptional work already. Some people saw some of the impact in this past recruiting class, in the past portal class, and now seeing how we are activating around the upcoming recruiting of high school players, and then of course be in position with what positions we'll actually need to focus on in the portal following the season. And so this gives a really special structure and strategy. So it allows Coach Venables, who is a very involved participant in recruiting and is one of the best recruiters in America. We knew that when he was here the last time before he left for Clemson, and he is he's a relentless recruiter, but he will be able to focus on everything related to the team. His role as head coach, of course, now is overseeing the defense as well, and allowed Jim and his staff to work with them in a collaborative fashion. And Jim has said this many, many times himself, but they can do the work and be dealing with athletes in all the different aspects of acquisition and retention, and let the coach focus on coaching and developing the team. And so they're two really strong positions that work collaboratively together to create the successful plan for Oklahoma.
When we come back with Joe Castiglione, we'll talk about the Sooners sports this past season and look ahead to always talking football at OU when we come back after this timeout.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on. Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family-owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories in our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
And we're back on Oklahoma Sports Scene with the Vice President, Director of Athletics at the University of Oklahoma, Joe Castiglione. And, of course, it's always football time in Oklahoma, as they say. In fact, it's counting down. Our opener is August 30th against Illinois State, 6 p.m. there at the stadium. And the 2025 season underway, and that's now, let's see, 63 minus, like 56 days, something before. 56 days until kickoff from this Saturday. So getting ready for football again at OU. What's it look like?
Chris, you get into the summer like we are, and there's some talk about football, but as soon as we start talking about the season, it seems like it's going to get here very, very fast, and obviously we can't wait. Like you said, our season and home opener this year is against Illinois State, kickoff at 5 p.m. in Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. As we were talking in the previous segment about our new structure with Jim Nagy, his staff, working in concert with Coach Venables, has really created a lot of excitement around our program. They've worked very, very hard in retaining players, which we had a lot of fantastic players off of last year's team that could have gone other places, as we often see players do in this world, and decided to stay here. They have provided great strength, and then adding various key pieces offensively and defensively, and as well as in the special teams area. I think we've got a roster that is really locked and loaded and working hard during the summer to prepare for the season, and can't wait to get fall camp here and prepare, like we were saying, for the home opener, at the end of August. So really exciting about that. And then we've got a heck of a home schedule, and that's probably what's promoted ticket sales being so strong. But following Illinois State, we have Michigan here at home. We have Auburn here. We have Ole Miss. We have Kent State. And then Ole Miss, Missouri, and LSU. And so a really good 7-game home game schedule. Continue the sellout streak that started way back in Bob Stoops' first year here. And so appreciate our fans so much, the way that they support this program and our athletes. And can't wait to get started.
Joe, what's new in the never-ending improvement and adding of facilities at the University of Oklahoma? What will the fans notice different this year?
Well, we've actually had quite a few facility improvements in a variety of sports. We just opened our new golf facility and tennis facilities. And certainly our gymnastics facility that we announced a while back is getting in the final several months of construction, and that should be ready to go in this coming year. Inside our football stadium, we've made several small improvements, but we're working on a massive renovation plan that I guess you could say was announced last fall with the hiring of an architect to completely transform the west side. Chris, you might remember in 2013, we developed a master plan for our football stadium, executed on that with the construction of the south end zone. Basically, it closed in the bowl of the south and added a lot of new seats, suites, club areas, concession areas, fan amenities. And we've done some projects between then and now to improve the west side of the stadium, and this year is no different. But the biggest project we're working on is literally a transformation of the west side. And so we have an architect engaged in that project. And hope by the early part of next year, we'll be able to announce, some of that work. And then, we'll have a lot of other new things that are not necessarily facility oriented, but more points of sale, just better ways to create more efficiency and comfort and excitement for our fans as they come to Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium this fall.
But Joe, since you arrived at OU in 1998, the Sooners have won now 26 national championships. Just added one this year, of course, with women's gymnastics. And again, the women's program is really something at OU. Women's gymnastics and softball, great success.
It really has been. Women's basketball
Yes.
Went to the Sweet 16 this year, had a great run. Our women's tennis program is doing well. Women's golf made it to the national championships. Our women's track team just had a great finish in the national championships this past weekend, along with our men's team, who finished 6th in the country, the highest finish in over 28 years. And so, a lot of times people don't talk about some of our other sports as much. Women's volleyball earlier this year made it back to the NCAA tournament, won a game, and has great athletes returning. Should be another exciting season for them. Our women's soccer program is about to hit the next gear, like some of the other programs before them have done. So all across the board, our programs are continuing to compete very, very well. Obviously, transitioning in the SEC was fantastic for us this year, but as we see, this time of year, we're also getting measured how they compete nationally, and they're doing exceptionally well in that area.
Joe, what are your goals for 25-26 in the new school year?
Well, it starts with the program, the vision that we have for our program itself, and certainly we've been able to marry the athlete with the opportunity to be tethered to higher education. Chris, we haven't talked about this yet, but once again, our athletes are performing exceptionally well in the classroom. We hit another record in cumulative GPA, so now the average GPA for our athletes is above a 3.3, in fact, 3.31 to be exact. We had, a number of athletes have perfect 4.0s this year, and every team we sponsor, both semesters had an average GPA above a 3.0. That's never happened, in the history of Oklahoma. So you look at athletic success and you combine it with the academic success, and of course that projects well for those athletes, as many of them that might have professional opportunities or Olympic opportunities or continue sport in their life when they leave here, that they're going to be well prepared for whatever livelihood they choose after sport is no longer in their life. So we want to continue to have the great combination of high level performance in our sports and then academically as well, and helping them grow as people. But a lot of these teams return some special players. So I know that they're all lined up ready to have great years. And for me as an athletic director, it's and helping them make the transition into this newer world and having the resources that they need to be successful. Whatever vision we might have, things we want to do, it all gets back to how we put our people in a position to be successful. And that's our number one priority.
Well, Joe, closing in on 3 decades, what's the future look like for Joe Castiglione?
I am looking forward to continue to support our athletes like we always have. And that's my job. And that's where many of our success is going to happen. It's how we put the resources related to athlete success and our coaches' success, keeping great people on our campus like we've been able to do, and putting them in a position to be successful, as I mentioned earlier. So my job is always there, number one.
And you'll keep on the job, right?
I'm sorry?
You'll stay on the job, right? No retirement.
Well, you never know what the world is going to present, but I'm looking forward to continue to serve Oklahoma.
Couldn't be better. Nobody's done it better than Joe Castiglione. Joe, thanks for taking the time and joining us, and have a great new season coming up. We'll be talking to you, I'm sure. And as always, of course, Boomer Sooner.
Boomer Sooner.
We'll come right back to talk to Cary Cozby, the director of golf at Southern Hills, about the recent U.S. Open right after this break.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Baseball, fireworks, food, family. It's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories in our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
And we're here on Oklahoma Sportscene with our good friend, Director of Golf at Southern Hills Country Club, Cary Cozby. And, was that some kind of United States Open Golf Championship or what?
That was crazy, right? All the people tied at the
oh my gosh,
at the top for a brief moment there. It seemed like for about 20 minutes, everybody had a chance to take the lead with the next putt or fall out of the lead, and so it's an interesting day for sure.
The U.S. Open is so unique because it is our national championship, and it is truly open, right? Anybody can try to qualify.
Right. No, I think they said yesterday afterward they had 10,000 people who tried to enter. So there's a local stage that's 18 holes, and then they have the sectional stage, which I think there's about 8 to 10 sites, not just in the U.S., but they have one in Japan, UK, where the final stage is. They call that the longest day in golf, which is it's 36 holes. But you're liable to see, a bunch of tour pros that are out playing amongst college kids and people that just, the young man that that qualified. That's the dentist that used to be the caddy at Oakmont. That was a really neat story. So it's a fun to play in the open qualifiers. Really neat.
They said they had qualifiers from all 50 states and 80 foreign countries. The field started at 156 golfers teed off back on Thursday, and when it was all said and done, only one of the best golfers in the world, only one finished and barely under par.
One under par, yeah. It kind of felt like the old U.S. Opens that you and I used to, right? They had kind of a period of time where they were trying to be a little bit nicer and easier, but it looked like the old days with U.S. Open where narrow fairways, high rough, fast greens, and it certainly looked like they went to great efforts to make it, super hard.
And the winner of the tournament, I thought, was the Oakmont Golf Course, holding their 10th U.S. Open, right?
10th U.S. Open, so that's obviously a record, and they're signed up for
that course, Cary?
I have played it.
Yeah.
It's been a few years.
Yeah.
It was right before the 2016 U.S. Open that Dustin Johnson won, but it's everything you would guess. Very hard, super fast greens, really large green complexes. Kind of like a course here in Tulsa.
Yeah.
Except we have really small green complexes.
Now the USGA sets theirs up differently than the PGA, right?
Yeah. Historically, the USGA, they've kind of been known as like this super tough, setup. The Masters has their own unique, but they've gotten a little tougher with their setup more recently than it was beyond. And the Open Championship, the British Open, they kind of let the weather determine what the setup's going to be. And the PGA Championship, which we held most recently, has always been kind of, Cary Haig's been setting that course up for a long time for the PGA. It's typically the more what they call the fair one, and it could be like us where it was 5 under par. We didn't have to rake the rough or shave the greens or grow 5 inches of rough, and it was just 5 under played off there. But you see scores in the PGA that could get a little bit more under par, and it's just kind of depends on what the course says.
It was really kind of refreshing. You get tired of some of these other PGA events where they 20 under par, 25 under par.
Yeah,
real test of golf.
I think the majors, if you're going to be called the major champion, I think that it should be a very stern test, whether it's any of the 4 majors.
Sure.
The Players Championship, which is kind of the 5th major, not really, but they call it that. It's a very stern test at TPC Sawgrass. So I think the general public would like to see a really, really firm, stern test of golf compared to TPC Hartford, where it's going to be 22 under par this weekend is going to play off,
Well, when it's all said and done, a golfer from California, relative unknown, J.J. Spawn, was the only golfer to finish under par, and that was thanks to what an incredible 60-foot-plus putt at the 18th hole.
Once in a lifetime, just amazing.
Just his second U.S. Open.
Second U.S. Open, and interesting to hear, he was really not coming in great form.
Yeah.
He played great. He lost in the playoff to Rory at the Players Championship, but even last summer he was worried about losing his card. He's obviously a very talented guy, but it's a tough game.
The first winner of the U.S. Open in history to card a 40 on the front nine, then come back and win the tournament.
Right. The second. The first one was Francis We Met in 1913.
That's right. Yeah, the great story. That's right.
Yeah. So a caddy from the great story of that, but in modern times, to shoot 40, I think the weather helped him a lot with kind of being able to reset and sit down with his team and kind of take a breath and kind of get his thoughts collected and regroup. His
final score 279. Again, they needed 2 birdies on the final 2 holes, 17 and 18, to finish as the only golfer under par, 1 under par. And the first Open champion to shoot 40, as you mentioned, then come back and win the tournament. To me, Oakmont was really the story of the entire tournament.
Yeah, it's one of the historic cathedrals in the game of golf. Incredible clubhouse on top of a golf course. It's like a museum when you walk through the clubhouse.
Wow,
all the history of the majors and the different championships that have been contested there, and a lot. It's really one of the special places in golf.
And cut in 2 by the Pennsylvania Turnpike.
That is weird. You play the first hole, you walk across a footbridge, or that goes to the second hole. You played, I think, 2 through 8, and then 9 through 18 are back on the other side of the turnpike, and it's like the Turner Turnpike. I mean, it is like 6 lanes and humming, but it's way down, so you don't feel like you're on top of the turnpike.
Some I thought was interesting too. Following the tournament, they said the final 2 pairings, which means you think the 4 best golfers in the world in the tournament, on Sunday, they were plus 14 on the front 9.
It's crazy.
Combined.
It's crazy.
I mean,
It tells you,
gosh.
there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You had some rain, and you had it, obviously firm and fast greens on top of it. But it would have been interesting to see if it had not rained on Saturday and Sunday, what the score would have been. A lot of players who were there think it would have been 7-10 over par if it was really, because firm and fast, you just can't keep the ball in the fairway, and it's going to run out and get to that heavy rough.
And what happened to all the big names? They kept looking for. They kept trying to let Scotty Scheffler win. I mean, they kept giving him chances.
They did give him plenty of chances. I think he just wasn't quite himself.
Yeah.
Of course, not quite himself, and he finishes 8th.
He had 5 bogeys on the first 6 holes.
Yeah, it's his stats just weren't his normal thing, but it's golf. It's not like another sport where the heaviest favorite, the most dominant player. I think Tiger, even at his highest clip, is winning 1 out of every 3, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's just it goes. I think Rory's kind of he's going to have to reset after winning the Masters, and kind of maybe he's got to find a new mountain to climb a little bit after climbing that one.
Scotty Scheffler, by the way, now has gone. They said 9 rounds of U.S. Open golf over par.
Over par, yeah. That's tough for him to do, but if he's going to do it, it's going to be at a U.S. Open, especially the way they've set up the last two years.
So Spawn earned $4.3 million of that record to $21.5 million purse.
Yeah, that's good.
Second place, the guy from Scotland, Robert McIntyre, who's kind of no name really recognized.
Yeah.
Is 1 over par, $2.3 million. And our former Oklahoma State golfer,
Victor
we're all
Hovland.
cheering for from Norway, of course.
Yeah.
Victor, 2+. Third place had to settle for just $1.4 million.
He's going to get by. I think he's going to be okay.
These purses are unbelievable.
They are unbelievable. They really are. It's an interesting leaderboard for sure. It would have been neat if Victor would have won it, but my guess is because you can count on, I think, one hand how many people have won the U.S. Amateur as well as the U.S. Open. So that'd be neat if Victor could win a U.S. Open one of these days.
Southern Hills has a great history with the U.S. Open, by the way, too. We've hosted it 3 times, 1958, and I've been to the last 2, 77 and 2001.
Yeah, I've been to the last 2 as well. I didn't make 58 either.
Tommy Bolt, right? Won that
Terrible
one?
Tommy Bolt.
Oh my
right.
gosh.
Yeah.
And just recently announced, of course, Southern Hills will have another major coming their way. 2032, it'll be the 6th time a record to host the PGA Championship.
Right. Yeah. Oakmont's the record for the U.S. Opens, and we are the record for the PGA Championship, which is great. Really,
so
be neat. Be here before we know it.
It sounds like a long ways there, but preparation's probably already underway or thought about it. Because you renovated the course before our last championship, right?
Yeah. So I think there's some familiarity with the PGA and some comfort level with us, and obviously it's one of the great cathedrals in golf and American golf and championship golf, and this will be our 9th professional major, which is in a group of maybe 5 or 6 clubs in the country.
The PGA Championship has been held at Southern Hills 1970, 1982, 1994, 2007, and most recently 2022. That was a great one. Justin Thomas, that playoff win.
That was great.
Wow.
An incredible playoff, and a lot of carnage. We had some carnage on the last hole too with Mito Pereira. So a double bogey was the opposite of what JJ Spawn did yesterday. But it'd be interesting to see who's on top of the game in 7 years from now. Could be a totally different group.
And next, the 4th and final major of the golf season will be, of course, over in Northern Ireland. 153rd Open Championship. Yeah. It's July 7th to 20th at the Royal Port Rush. Any experience with that, Rush?
I've not been there, but I've heard it is spectacular. If you just go online and look at the images, it is really cool looking. It'd be neat if Rory could kind of rebound, get himself to win in his home country would be neat. But there's a few other players that if they win that, they're going to be one step away from the mate. Scheffler, if he was to win there, John Rahm, if he was to win there, then all of a sudden they've just got one more major to go to get to the Grand Slam as well. So,
real quick story, Cary. I tell you, I kind of dozed off in my chair watching some final round. I kind of woke up. Tiger Woods is playing, and the graphics at 2008 U.S. Open. Wait a minute, what happened? And then the rain delay graphic
I bet
came
that
back
would
on.
mess you up a little bit.
What happened back in time?
Did I fall back? And,
right.
But that was a fun year to watch.
Yeah.
At least they had that queued up.
Rocco
Mediate,
But
that was neat.
That's different. They've now changed. They don't do the 18-hole playoffs anymore.
No, just a 2-hole aggregate, and then if it's tied after 2 holes, then they play a sudden death victory. Yeah.
Cary Cozby, Director of Golf at Southern Hills. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be with you, as always.
See you after the Open, right?
Yes, sir.
Champion. Very look forward to it.
Then.
Marvin Jones, our Oilers head football coach, coming up next on the show.
Baseball, fireworks, food, family. It's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
And we're back on Oklahoma Sportscene and back with our head football coach of Tulsa Oilers Indoor Professional Football Team, Marvin Jones. Coach, guys are on a roll right now, playing good football.
Yes, sir. I mean, the guys, we've been able to win games at home. That was the most important thing. We won the games that we needed to win. But, you know, the guys are happy. I mean, it's just we're adding new guys, so we're getting better and better every week.
Beat the San Antonio Gunslingers this past weekend, 42-21. That's now 4-1 in the BOK Center for home field.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of people that show up, man, and it's getting the players excited. You know, and that's what I told the guys. We got to win our games at home.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most important thing for us. You know what I mean? It's tough enough winning on the road, but you got to have that home field. I think home field advantage, and I think we've done pretty well with that so far.
Overall, 7-4 in the Oilers' third season. Big improvement over the first two seasons. Coach, what's been the reason for that, besides great coaching?
As always, coaching. You know, players win games, coaches lose them. Nah. Well, I mean, just what has happened over the years is people just find out more and more about us as the years go by. I mean, when you're a new expansion team, you know, like we were 3 years ago, a lot of people didn't know about us.
Yeah.
You know, then there's a fraction of guys that may not want to, you know, live in Tulsa. They may want to go to Arizona, you know, the nice weather, sure, Jacksonville. Yeah. So it's all little factors. Yeah. But at this point, players that have been here and the players here now that have been around the league, they've been able to, those are our best recruiters, and they've been able to tell people how we do things here in Tulsa. I mean, we're a first-class organization on how we treat our players and the things that we're able to offer to our players.
Starts at the top, of course, your owner, Andy Skirdo, has done a great job of really giving the team what it needs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's been very supportive in any way he can. He's always coached whatever we can do, you know, for the players. And that's one of the things I love about it is that whenever I'm talking about needing this or needing that, or we need to do this or that, it always comes down to, you know, give the players what they need for them to be comfortable.
Did a great job in the portal this year. We had your OC on. The new OC guy came from Frisco. They shut that franchise down. We got him, but more importantly, we got their quarterback. Yeah,
most important. I mean, TJ Edwards is a different man. You know, he's kept us in the game. We won games because of him. I mean, just so based on his ability. I mean, this last game, I mean, he makes a great play escaping, throws the ball, throws a dart down the field, we get a touchdown. So his playmaking ability is, I mean, he's second to none. He is a special player when it comes to that.
Of course, your specialty is a former great NFL linebacker and a star college football player. Defense is your game. Told any team in indoor football, 21 points, you'll be proud of your unit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, we had, out of 10 possessions, we stopped. We had 6 out of 10 possessions that we had stops on. Yeah. And that generally is just 4 and out, so whether we get a field goal or turnover. So the defense has really been playing. We moved up. Right now we're about 6th in the league. Our offense is about 6th.
Yeah.
But, you know, and that's what you got to have. That shows that we got good balance offensively and defensively, you know, because we're pretty much even with both sides of the balls and, you know, in the statistical categories.
That 42-21 win this past weekend over San Antonio gave the Oilers a 3-game sweep of the Gunslingers. That's important in this team in your division.
You know, it is very tough to beat anybody 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, just based upon we get a chance to know each other. Plus, they've also gotten better. But, I mean, they're not the same team that we played the last time. I mean, they've added some pieces here and there. But you know how it is. It gets tough sometimes when you're not winning like you would like to win, and the players get a little down and stuff like that. So, but that's their problem. You know, I went through that. I had my growing pains with that also. So I'm glad somebody else is going through it. But, you know, the guys went out there and they approached it. They understand, you know, what our overall goal is and where we want to go as a team. So, hey, we're not taking any prisoners. We're going out there giving 1,000%. Every game, we want to win every game.
Impressed with your schedule, too. You been traveling coast to coast in California the week before, and now you head to Massachusetts, the East Coast trip, first trip.
Oh, yeah. I love Mass. Well, Mass is a tough team. I mean, it's, be able to go over there. We're going to go a day early. We'll leave and get over there out on Thursday. And 2 days early, give guys a chance to get acclimated. But Mass is always a tough team. I mean, they start off a little bit slow, but as they go on and on in the season, I mean, they get really recruiting over there and really rebuild their team to make a run. And that's one of the things that we've adapted that we have to do also.
Yeah, how much changed is the roster during the season, Coach? You're turning it over quite a bit, or guys leaving and coming back and stuff? What's going on?
Well, I mean, it's like any other job, man. You don't do your job, I got to find somebody else.
Yeah.
I tell my guys all the time, it's very competitive that every week you got to come in here and approach it, because even though you're on this team, I'm actively looking to get better all the time. But I try to not turn it over as much, but defensively, we probably had about, probably within the last month, maybe 3 to 4 guys that we've been able to flip. And they've been really good players that have really came in and really helped the team tremendously.
Yeah, who are some of the key guys that really playing some big-time football for you?
Well, we just acquired one of the old vets, Marvin Jones, who's been around the league probably forever. I mean, since dinosaurs roamed the earth. He's a guy that went to South Carolina, had some NFL stints. He's really helped us out, especially this last game. But, one of our best guys, undoubtedly is Leon Smalls, number 94. I mean, he's out of North Carolina A&T, man. I tell you, he's a sight to watch. I mean, the kid works hard. I mean, he's undoubtedly probably our best player defensively.
And the quarterback, always the key, though.
Yeah, in this league, in any league, I don't care what league you play in.
What division?
If you don't have a quarterback, you ain't going to win no games. And one of the things that we were fortunate to do is, be able to bring over Andre Coles, former head coach of Frisco, bring him as an offensive coordinator, be able to bring over, T.J. Edwards and to bring over some of them key wide receivers. I told him, just bring the whole damn team.
That's right. Sort them out when you get here.
Right. Be fortunate enough for us to have that, because you're already a jump ahead on the competition, because we don't have to spend a whole all season trying to get the offense acclimated. You already got guys that already know it, and that is huge in this league.
Okay, after the Massachusetts Pirates trip this weekend, you come home for 3 straight home games to be okay. Boy, that sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds good, as long as you win them all. It's special to me, coming back. The 20th to be great. That'll be my birthday, my 53rd birthday on the 20th.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
So I got to tell the guys the best thing they can do for my birthday is get a win.
That BOK crowd gets better and better, doesn't it? Great fans here.
Yeah, we had over 15,000 at this past game.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the most we've had. I think last year we had about 14,500, something like that. The people show up and they show out. And one of the craziest things is that traditionally in indoor sports, as it gets later into June and July, the crowds taper off. But these guys just show up even more. So it's very important. That's why I tell our guys, the fans are a huge part of this, man. They are invested into what we're doing here.
Coach, I was watching that UFL championship this past weekend and talked to Coach Stoops out of Arlington several times. Boy, they're suffering in terms of crowds, in terms of TV ratings, all down. I don't know if that league's going to make it or not. Spring football's a tough sell.
Well, I mean, I know we get more people than one of the teams.
Yeah.
But it's always a tough sell because of the simple fact that the NFL is branded so well, and they're used to seeing that caliber of names and things like that. And then when you see other guys, of course, it's not going to look the same, because one of them is generally you got a pro league versus one that's primarily a developmental league for guys that are trying to get to that next level.
What's the next step for some of your guys? Where can they go off this?
Well, we just had a guy that just came back from Michigan Panther that we had early in the season, Faison McClurge, one of our wide receivers. He's back. He'll be back with us this week from the UFL. There may be a couple guys that maybe going to have some opportunities. I got one that's on a hotbed for the CFL right now. Just got to wait for some things to transpire, and hopefully he gets an opportunity. He deserves it.
Marvin Jones, head football coach of our Tulsa Oilers Indoor Professional Football League team, 7-4, heading to Massachusetts. Back home for 3 games starting on June the 28th. Coach, wish you the best. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Got some lobster up there for me in Massachusetts.
Lobster rolls, man. Lobster rolls.
Thank you, buddy. Right back with Tulsa Tough wrap up with Malcolm McCollam when we return right here on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Stay right there with us. Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories in our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
Our story. It lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
Pitch, Casey lines it down the left field line. Drillers win!
Baseball, fireworks, food, and family, it's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. Whether you want to catch every game or select nights, we know you will have a great time at the ballpark. We're proud to offer a variety of membership options, so don't wait. Contact a Drillers rep who will personally help you find the right plan for you. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
It's going to be one of cycling's biggest events nationally and internationally. It's Tulsa Tough. Just finished its 19th edition. With us, the founder and the director of the Tulsa Tough program itself, our friend Malcolm McCollam. Malcolm, congratulations. Give us the numbers now. How many contestants, how many states, how many nations competed in the Saint Francis Tulsa Tough for 2025?
Always great to be back, Chris. Unfortunately, I don't have all the numbers. It took us an entire week of cleaning up the warehouse and getting all the equipment put away. But I can tell you that overall, we haven't dived into everything yet, but overall, they look very good, comparable to last year. As you know, going into this event, we knew that we had 100 foreign athletes registered in the criteriums. That held true. We had just right around 2,500 combined participants, about 1,000 of those in the criteriums and about 1,500 in the fondos. Around 100,000 views of our live broadcast once again, with some amazing drone work this year from a new individual who came from Atlanta. And the one number I did have that our social media director pulled up, which was a shocker to all of us, in the 30 days leading up to the event, our Saint Francis Tulsa Tough Instagram page had over 1 million views.
Wow. Wow.
Who would have ever thought that?
Incredible. It said it's a full cycling experience. Give us some of the highlights of this year's Tulsa Tough.
Weather, of course, was one of the big highlights that we had to deal with. It's so strange, the way weather is in Oklahoma. It's one way 1 minute and does a complete 180 the next. We were able to navigate the storms pretty good. Interestingly, we had to reroute some of the fondo routes going up north because of some flooding on Bird Creek, even though it was a beautiful day Saturday. Yeah. Roads were inundated, and so we had to make some modifications there. Sunday, with 3 laps to go in the men's race, the very last race of the day on Crybaby Hill, it just started to sprinkle, but it didn't affect the race. So the weather gods really kind of smiled on us. We had some amazing new additions in the Friday night Blue Dome district with the McNally's group, Blue Dome Criterium. That event, that day just keeps amazing me every year because the crowds seem to swell and the energy comes out of, I don't know where, but it's like a high energy, amazing way to kick off the entire weekend. And then it just keeps going.
Well, Crybaby Hill, of course, where it all lines up, Riverside Drive near West 13th Street. And people describe it as kind of a Tulsa's own Mardi Gras, great celebrations and a great wild scene of partying.
It was wild. This was our 19th year, and I really felt like going into the event, we had reached peak Crybaby Hill, but I was wrong. Crybaby Hill continued to grow, continued to amaze. It's truly an iconic feature of this event.
What kind of economic impact does this 3-day cycling event have on Tulsa and the area here?
If we talked in another week or so, I might have that number for you. The Tulsa Chamber actually helps me with that, and they do a calculation, and I expect to have that soon.
But multi-millions, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely multi-millions.
And how about dates for 2026 Tulsa Tough? Anything set yet?
Yes, it is, and I should have those off the top of my head. I believe it's something like 4, 5, and 6. It's that same cycle in June. I'll have to look at those dates again, Chris. Sorry, I wasn't prepared for you.
Well, Malcolm, you did a great job this year. Try to get some rest. I know it's a major event. I guess planning is already underway for the 20th. Any big special plans for the 20th anniversary cycling event?
Well, definitely. I mean, not only is it our 20th anniversary, but as you probably know, it's the 100th anniversary of Route 66. And,
Right.
Our penultimate day on Sunday, Crybaby Hill takes place right on Route 66. So I'm sure that we're going to find a very creative and fun historical collaboration with the Route 66 folks.
Malcolm McCollam, he is the director, and most importantly, he is the founder of this Tulsa Saint Francis sponsored Tulsa Tough ride. Look forward to 20 and 26 on our 20th anniversary. And Malcolm, thanks for joining us again. Congratulations. Another great Tulsa Tough event.
Thanks again, Chris.
We'll come right back and wrap things up on Oklahoma Sports Scene after we take this final timeout.
Our story, it lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
Baseball, fireworks, food, family. It's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
Be sure to join us next week right here on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Wrap up the Oklahoma City Thunder run for the NBA championship, we hope. We'll have the details on that for us, some special guests as well. And we'll visit with an old friend of mine, Hall of Fame thoroughbred trainer Bill Mott. He, of course, had Sovereignty, who won the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont this spring. Talked to Bill about his great racing career, some great times I had with him with the Great Horse Cigar. All next week on Oklahoma Sports Scene. So join us then. Until then, as we always remind you, be a good sport.